Study philosophy not for answers, but for better questions. It expands the mind. Humanity can be saved by one thing only: cooperation. I despise the world and nearly everyone in it. I'm ashamed to be part of the human race. Our democracy still believes a fool is more honest than a wise man, and our leaders exploit that belief. Why is hate-filled propaganda more successful than messages of friendship? I disagree with all organized religions. I dream of a world without religious belief. What's the use of health and comfort if you forget to enjoy them? The more we understand our smallness in the cosmos, the more miraculous human achievements appear. The chicken assumed the farmer would always feed it, until the day he wrung its neck. Assumptions can be deadly. If bitterness is growing inside you, it's a sign of emotional failure. Politics runs mostly on serious-sounding lies. Evil lives in our hearts, and that's where it must be uprooted. The beginning of wisdom is defeating fear. I don't care for applause given to familiar ideas. I want to change minds. The idea that the poor deserve rest has always shocked the rich. The strong hurt me, so I hurt those weaker than me. That's the dark logic of human history. Time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. Humans need more than joy. They need hope, effort, and change. A teacher should treat a child like a gardener treats a plant, by helping it grow, not punishing it when it doesn't bloom. Wisdom begins when you start seeing the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. We live by two moral codes: one we preach but don't follow, and one we follow but don't preach. The desire to avoid boredom drives almost all human action. Some people can't feel joy unless they hate someone, a person, a nation, or a belief. If God exists, I doubt he's offended by those who question him. Only cowards claim they've never known fear. The world is full of magical things, patiently waiting for our minds to grow sharper. True happiness comes when life is driven by deep inner purpose. Religion is rooted in fear, of mystery, of failure, of death. No wonder cruelty follows it. Love and knowledge lift me toward the heavens, but the suffering of others brings me back to earth. Addiction is a temporary suicide. The pleasure is just a brief escape from pain. America may dominate for a few more centuries, but after that, China might take the stage. We know too much and feel too little. If the world is a result of randomness and confusion, it makes sense. But if it has a purpose, that purpose seems monstrous. After anxiety, envy is perhaps the greatest source of human suffering. When a fool repeats a wise person's words, the meaning is lost, because the fool reshapes it unknowingly. I believe 4 things are essential to happiness: health, good relationships, enough income, and meaningful work. I once saw elephants in Central Africa panic at the sight of a plane. But since there were no reporters, the fear vanished as quickly as it came. Hunger is to food what passion is to life. The tragedy of the world is that fools are always certain, while the wise are full of doubt. Even when all experts agree, they can still be wrong. War doesn't decide who was right, only who survived. Nature's limits bring poverty and disease. Human cruelty brings war and torture. True happiness is reserved for those who realize their inner divine potential. Humans are creatures of belief. If they lack good reasons, they settle for bad ones. Discipline should be built on your own values and needs, not what society or authority demands. In thought, man is divine. In actions and desires, he's often a slave to circumstance. Fear is the root of superstition and one of the main sources of cruelty. Conquering fear is the beginning of wisdom. Philosophy often begins with the simple and ends in a tangle no one believes. Anything you do well contributes to your happiness. Some unfulfilled desires are essential to happiness. You must believe that you can help build a better world. 3 emotions have guided my life: a longing for love, a hunger for knowledge, and deep compassion for human suffering. Humans need both physical necessities and emotional fulfillment. Once the body is satisfied, emotions determine happiness or despair. To be happy in this world, we must feel connected to the flow of life. Science alone can't make us happy. My greatest joy? Pooping twice a day. Falling in love is easy. The hard part is finding someone who will catch you. God and the devil are both human ideas, one reflecting us, the other our enemies. What science cannot know, humanity cannot know. Most people believe in God not through reflection, but because they were taught to since childhood, or because belief gives them comfort. Often people discover their life's purpose only on their deathbed, when it's too late. We must care for a future we may never see. No great achievement is possible without sustained effort. If a contrary opinion makes you angry, it's a sign your beliefs lack a solid foundation. The fiercest debates are over ideas that lack real evidence. Just because an opinion is widely accepted doesn't mean it's not foolish. If people prioritize their own joy over hating others, the world would become paradise in just a few years. Thinking you know when you don't is the most dangerous delusion. Many worries vanish when you realize how little they truly matter. If sinners disobey God's command, and God is all-powerful, then they do so by His will. If we suddenly gained the power to read each other's minds, our friendships would collapse overnight. Laughter is the cheapest, most effective magic. It's a universal medicine. Courage isn't just for war. It takes courage to face poverty, shame. There's a rare joy in conquering fear. Be isolated, be ignored, be attacked, be afraid, but never be silent. Science tells us what little we can know. Religion gives the illusion that we know everything. 3 is prime, 5 is prime, 7 is prime, 9 is not. Why isn't 1 considered prime? The key to true happiness: accept one uncomfortable truth each day. I wanted to believe in my community's religion, but I couldn't. You can't measure life's most valuable things in money. Not property, not stocks, not cars, but friendship, trust, empathy, kindness, love, and faith. Love should be like a tree, deeply rooted in earth, reaching freely toward the heavens. Beware the person who follows only one book. Once you felt the greatness of the soul, you can never again find joy in pettiness. My entire religion is this: fulfill your duties and expect no reward. Theology assumes that humans are the most important beings in the universe because theologians are human. With so many new mistakes to make, why keep repeating the old ones? If we spent 30 minutes each day in silence and stillness, we'd live far more wisely. No one can be a great teacher unless they care for their students and genuinely want to give them value. Most people would rather die than think, and they do. People gossip not out of curiosity, but out of spite. They talk about others' flaws, not their strengths. Humans are born ignorant, not stupid. It is education that makes them so. I don't think I'm dreaming, but I can't prove I'm not. Happiness isn't getting what you want, it's wanting what you have. I don't claim to prove God doesn't exist, just as I can't prove the devil is imaginary. A smile lasts a moment, but the memory can last a lifetime. Descartes said, if he had only one teacher, he'd believe only what was taught and never develop his own thinking. The more interests a person has, the more chances they have to find happiness. Philosophy doesn't always give answers, but it asks questions that make life richer. My religion is this: fulfill your duties and expect nothing in return. People don't want truth, they want certainty. What matters is not what you've lost, but what remains. Either man will end war, or war will end man. We need a world where creativity thrives, life is joyful, and the drive to build outweighs the urge to hoard. Joy that doesn't harm others is the only kind worth having.